I ran away from home to San Francisco when I was 29 years old. Now, I know what you're thinking. That's a little old to run away from home. I tried a couple times before, once when I was 17 and once when I was 4, and neither time I didn't really make it very far. So when I was 29, I had a plan. I just graduated with an English Lit degree from the UW-Madison, Wisconsin, which I found out soon thereafter would mean a wonderful, varied career, saying, "Wilt thou like fries with that?" And I'd also gotten a black belt in Shaolin Kempo Karate, as well as winning a manuscript award from the UW-Madison bookstore. I thought, I'm on my way. I have a plan. I am going to be the next great American novelist. I'm going to move to San Francisco. I'd gone to San Francisco a year prior and visited a friend, and I knew this was home. It was home in a way that Madison never had been for me. Now, I had some friends with some trepidations because I also said I was moving to San Francisco to find myself. And a friend of mine said, you don't really move across country to find yourself. You are who you are right now. But I knew. Like I said, I had a plan. It wasn't until much later that I realized that I was running away from myself when I came out to San Francisco. At the time, however, I didn't think I was running away from myself. I thought I was running away from the craziness of my family, because you would want to run away too if your mom was smoking crack cocaine, if your sister was shooting crystal meth with dirty rigs, and if your homeless alcoholic father was spare changing for money outside the brewing company that you were managing. You'd want to get the fuck away from that crazy too. So I ran away to San Francisco. I packed everything in my two-door Honda Accord, and I had a couple $1,000 and a 2-month sublet in the Mission. I had a plan. I was going to make it as the next great American waitress. I got a job at a fine dining restaurant downtown. Wilt thou like fries with that? Became pommes frites, but it was still basically the same thing. And I made fantastic amounts of money, lots of cash, and I like to go out and drink and hang out with my friends after hours at the W Hotel or the Palace. And eventually, I got into the club scene. I was at 10:15, I was at the DNA Lounge, I went to the mezzanine, I like to do a little ecstasy once in a while. I was having a great time, it was so much fun, I'm in San Francisco, it's great. New Year's Eve 2003, I actually managed to get behind the DJ booth with Donald Glaude. I'm like, this is it, I have arrived. My phone was full of numbers, and I had friends everywhere. That same friend who was worried about me finding myself in San Francisco also expressed to me that she was a little concerned because just because you didn't get to be the prom queen in high school doesn't mean you are now. But I ignored that ominous warning. And one night I did one line of cocaine with a friend at an after-bar party. And I met his friend, who happened to be his dealer. And things changed. At first, it was fantastic. Oh my God, it was so much fun. I was, again, the life of the party. I was gregarious. I loved to buy you drinks. I loved to do drugs with you. It was awesome. But I noticed something really fast. My money went away. It was like I had all this money, and then I didn't. But I had all these friends. It was awesome. Let me buy another round for you. So I started to devise ways to, be cautious with my money. I started to make plans, right? Because drugs are like that. They're fun, and then they're fun with problems, and then they just became problems. But I was still in the fun with problems. I was just got to figure it out. So what I would do is I would get off my shift waiting tables, and I would appropriate my money. This money was to go out to the bars, to go out to the W, to go out to the clubs, to go to DNA Lounge. It was great. The money in my bra was for rent. The money in my sock was for food. If I had any money in my back left pocket, it was for a taxi ride home. But after a couple of drinks, it didn't matter what I did. I was fishing money out of all my spots. And I was doing cocaine in the bathroom at all those places. And it started to get a little out of hand, and it started to get a little out of control. Like, I don't know, one night I just accidentally did some crystal meth at the end up. I know what you're thinking. How do you accidentally do some crystal meth? I thought it was a line of cocaine. It was not. It was crystal. And I suddenly found myself 2 days later deconstructing Laura Croft in a trailer in Brisbane outside of South City with my new best friend who was making banana walnut pancakes in the kitchen with her chihuahua. I don't know how I got home. I'm still not quite sure how I got home. So then I started to make rules. I would only have 3 beers because when I had a couple more than that, I would call my dealer. I had him on speed dial. He could come anywhere you wanted in the city. It was faster than pizza. It's amazing. And there was 2 beers. And there was 1 beer. And there was a half a beer. And there was a taste of a beer. And I was thinking about a beer. And then I was on the phone to my dealer. And I was like, shit, this is not working. So I started to tell people, no more. I can't drink after work. I'm just not going to do it. So one of my close friends at work was like, hey, no big deal. We'll just get some wine from the cellar, and we'll go back to my place. She lived over on Minna Street in the Soma district. We'll just have a couple of bottles of wine. We'll have a nice girls' night out. It'll be fun. We went back to her place on Minna Street with some wine from the cellar, and there was a homeless man spare changing for money outside of her door. I gave him a cigarette. We went upstairs. We had drank that wine, a couple cocktails, a couple more cocktails. And the next thing you know, I'm like calling a cab, and I'm going downstairs to get my cab, and there's the homeless man sitting on the stoop, and he says, hey, thanks for the cigarette. Do you want to smoke some crack? And I was like, oh, sure. And the next thing you know, I'm smoking crack with a homeless man on Minna Street. And a few hours later, I'm sitting on a piece of cardboard between 2 parked cars, hiding while I'm smoking crack with this homeless man who's decided that I'm his new girlfriend. It had to stop. It had to stop. It just had to fucking stop, because if it didn't stop, I was going to be homeless, and I was going to be stuck there on that piece of cardboard. So I made all of these different things happen, right? The best one, the one that I really, really appreciate that I did was I gave up my rent-controlled $500 a month apartment in the Mission because I had this wild idea that if I was spending more money on rent, I would spend less money on drugs. It didn't work, in case you were wondering. So I lost that apartment. I lost all my friends. I lost all the friends and the friends of the friends. I lost the party. I lost dignity. I lost hope. It was gone. So you'd think that that would have, that loss of that apartment would have brought it home to me, but I continued out there for a little while longer until one day when I got to hit what I now call my bottom. And it was a point of demoralization that I still can't quite understand how it happened. But a good friend of mine at that restaurant, you know how I said I lost things? I lost the job at that restaurant as well. Somebody else got to serve the fries. I had a friend get engaged, and I wanted to go congratulate her. And I wasn't going to drink. I wasn't going to do it, because I knew when I drank, things got out of hand. And I walked into the restaurant, and the bartender saw me, and the bartender was a friend of mine, and he put up my regular on the bar. It was a double dirty Grey Goose martini on the rocks with extra olives and a pint of Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. I used to say that I just liked the way they tasted together. They were just so tasty. Now, I just wanted as much booze in my hands as I could possibly get. And I remember reaching for that beer, and I remember thinking, don't drink it. You don't want to drink it. You're drinking it. And I was calling my dealer. I went outside. I pulled out the last of my money from the ATM. I got a lot of cocaine that night. I called up my friend, the same friend who gave me the number for that dealer, bless his heart. And he came out with me, and we both ran around the town and got lots of new friends to come with us, drank all over the Mission, did cocaine, lots of bathrooms. Oh my God. And at some point or another, when the night was done, we ended up back at my place, the really expensive apartment I moved to. And he had to leave for a business trip the next day. His girlfriend was coming to the house to pick him up. He had some cocaine left. And he said, hey, I can't take this with me on the plane. Can you just keep it for me until next weekend? And I was like, sure, no problem. I can do that for you, my good friend. And as his girlfriend pulls up and he went down the stairs and he opens the door, he turned back around and he looked at me. He said, well, Carmen, you're not going to do that, are you? I was like, oh, no, of course not. I'm not going to do your drugs. Come on, I'm my friend. He walked out the door, he got in our car, and I went upstairs and I did all of his drugs. All of them. All of his drugs, all of my drugs. I did so many, I should have died. If life was fair, I would be dead. But I'm here instead because something happened in that moment. I hit a kind of shameful spot and place in my life where I'd stolen from my friend. And I still don't know why. To this day, it was that little piece that got me to finally call out for help. And I said, please, God, help me. Help me. I don't know what to do anymore. I called a friend, and I thought that friend was going to put me in rehab. I heard about Hazleton or, some of these really cool places you could play tennis at, That's not what happened, Instead, I was embraced by a community and a fellowship of people that just took me in and loved me until I learned how to love myself. They fed me, they gave me coffee, they smoked me out. I smoked so many cigarettes, my God. I don't smoke cigarettes anymore, but I still like coffee. And my life it's become magic. Like, I had no idea what my life was going to become. I just thought it was going to be a waitress all of my life. And instead, you know what? 12 years later, I've been a nanny. Now, I don't know if any of you know what it's like to have a child, but I get to work with children, and I get to give them the kind of love and affection and attention I didn't get to have when I was a kid. And in return, not only do I get a paycheck, I get this huge amount of love, unconditional love, all the time. And not only that, oh God, I get to go to school. I'm a third-year grad student in a grad program downtown at the California Institute for Integral Studies. I'm graduating in May. Come on to the party. But that's not the important part of my story. Oh my God, I forgot about my tattoos. That's what I'm supposed to tell you about. So I have a lot of tattoos. You may have noticed that. And I have a star for every year I've been sober. I have 12 stars on my neck. And knock on wood, I'll get star number 13 in January. So the stars made me think about school. So CIAS is located down in the Soma on Mission and 10th. And I can't explain to you what it felt like to come out of my psychodynamics class at the end of the semester, to come around the corner to where my brand new scooter, I just bought a scooter, was parked on Minna Street with a paper in my hand from my psychodynamics professor who gave me an A+ on a paper I wrote. I had an A+ in grad school. I was so high. I was floating. It was like beyond any drug experience I've ever had. And I hop on my scooter, and I turn it on, and as I'm turning on my scooter, I hear click roll, and the inhale of someone smoking crack. And I turn, and there she is. This young woman, her hair up in a messy bun, smoking crack on a piece of cardboard between two parked cars on Minna Street. And it hit me in this way that I still can't ever explain how grateful and how amazing my life has become, because she is I, and I am she, and I'm no longer doing that anymore. As I zoomed off on my scooter to my little studio by the sea, I realized I was no longer running away from myself. I was just going home.